For us to start off this weekend, all tied towards these showers and heavy downpours that continue to come through into our area since yesterday. Right now, taking a look at our downtown cam over downtown Knoxville, you can see all that cloud cover in place. And again, like I mentioned, it's a soggy and foggy start across East Tennessee for us this morning. Temperatures, thankfully, on the warmer side, still trending with those well above average temperatures. Today's going to be the last day of that before that colder air begins to push its way into the region, also associated with this very same system that's providing us this heavy rainfall. So colder temperatures ahead for us tomorrow. But right now, sitting mildly with temperatures into those mid to upper 50s, eventually warming up into those 60s heading towards this afternoon. Looking at our visibility, patchy dense fog in place across the majority of our neighborhoods, looking at anywhere between 5 miles or less for our visibility. So if you have any outdoor plans or if you have to skedaddle and head outside right now in the midst of these already soggy roadways, and you have to also factor into now having to deal with some patchy dense fog, please give yourself the extra time that you need to drive safely and get to your destination safely early this morning if you absolutely have to. But like I mentioned, today is a weather impact alert day left over from yesterday because of the heavy rain that we're still seeing in the forecast throughout the morning hours on our Saturday here. So again, heavy rain, and the biggest impact that we're concerned about as it relates toward the system, the concern is the same as it was yesterday, just the possibility of seeing potential flooding across some areas that are more prone to that because of these consistent showers and consistent rounds of rain that continue to push through into the region. So you just really need to make sure that you're being extra careful, especially on those roadways. Of course, we have the phrase, turn around, don't drown. If you see any of areas of ponding that you really can't see the roadways, just go ahead and turn around and find a different direction and way to get to your destination safely. You don't want to take any chances with that. And also, it's easy to hydroplane if you're driving too quickly. So again, not only just on the account of those soggy roadways, but also on the account of that fog that's in place. Just give yourself the extra time that you need if you have to head out the door right now at this moment. Taking a look at our observed rainfall amounts that we've seen over the past 24 hours, this isn't official, this is just data that we've accumulated here on our view. We can see that across the majority of East Tennessee, looking at around an inch or more in terms of rainfall that has happened over the past 24 hours. As we all can remember, we saw our shower opportunities begin with the system approaching our area early yesterday morning, so we're just continuing on that same fashion today on our Saturday morning here. Looking at satellite radar, this is what we're currently seeing in terms of our rainfall action happening across the region. Heavier downpours, more moderate periods of rain right now happening in the more southernmost portions of our region. So of course, this is going to include the Tellico Plains, Sweetwater, Athens, Spring City, all seeing more moderate periods of rain right now at this very moment. The rest of us here in East Tennessee just seeing some light shower activity passing through the region as this moisture continues to make its track on through. Now we are going to see a continuous downpour or continuous periods of rain all throughout the day today. We'll start to see that taper off as we get a little bit closer towards this afternoon, closer to lunchtime. Few breaks of that rain action, allowing just for some views of mostly cloudy skies, and we'll just see more isolated to stray shower activity heading towards this afternoon and towards late this evening as that colder air begins to push its way into the region. Showers are going to wrap on up, and we'll be looking at more colder conditions in the forecast thereafter. But before we get there, let's go ahead and discuss why things are looking pretty decent in terms of no longer having any severe risk associated with this moisture that's in place right now. Pretty much the same view in terms of what we had in the forecast yesterday. Saw some heavy downpours, but nothing that ranged on the level of risk in terms of any severe weather. So more of the same of that today, thankfully. The only concern that I keep on harping on and mentioning is just the flood risk, just because the amount of rain that we've seen over the past 24 hours and continue to see at this point, still pushing its way, especially along the southern portions of our region, the southernmost valley, and closer towards the higher elevations. So we still do have that, at least that level 1 out of 4, that possible risk along the higher elevations for flooding potential. And we're still carrying on with it, that flood watch that continues to be in place across our southernmost valley. So as you saw just a moment ago on satellite radar, where the more moderate to heavy periods of rain are happening right now, it's around this same region, the southernmost valley. So that's why it makes sense that we have this flood watch in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. We did have Crossville, or specifically Cumberland County, also under this flood watch earlier this morning, but it has since expired and they were canceled and taken out of that flood watch. So again, just most of the southernmost valley that's involved with this flood watch, no longer really any plateau communities at this point. Now, like I mentioned, things are going to end up being on the colder side after this rain begins to wrap up late for us tonight as that colder air behind the system pushes its way into the region. We'll see our temperatures begin to fall, going into those 40s on Sunday, below average because it's going to be in the lower 40s for our afternoon high temperatures on Sunday. Then we'll see our temperatures kind of start to rebound a little bit, regulate, getting closer towards near average high temperatures nearby the upper 40s to low 50s, so we're going to be right in that range heading towards the midweek, but that's going to be before another system begins to push its way through to the region. That's going to give us another chance to even some more colder temperatures that'll be well below average heading into next weekend. But let's go ahead and focus very quickly on your Sunday forecast. Like I mentioned, colder weather on the way, but we'll still have a bit of a small gap of moisture somewhat left over in the atmosphere. So it's going to be that lingering moisture along with that colder blast of air pushing its way into the region early tomorrow on our Sunday that's going to provide a small window of opportunity for us to see maybe some light snowfall, maybe a little bit some flurry action across the higher elevations and for portions of our northernmost neighborhoods here in East Tennessee. So nearby La Follette, Huntsville, Tazewell, all you guys can potentially see maybe some light snow action as the colder air interacts with the leftover moisture still in the area. Now, it's not going to accumulate to anything. We're not expecting any accumulation from this at all tomorrow on your Sunday. Just the possibility, again, of just a sight of those flurries just because that cold air is going to be interacting with some moisture as it pushes its way into the region. Taking a look at that 7-day forecast, overall, we're looking at a colder weather pattern that's going to begin to take over in our area going forward here. We'll see that our temperatures, again, will start off below average heading into your Sunday and into your Monday. But as we approach the midweek, things will start to regulate a bit as temperatures will go closer towards near average into those upper 40s to lower 50s. Then we're going to be tracking yet another system that's going to push its way into the region, and that's going to give us some more colder temperatures well below average heading into next weekend, and also maybe even another opportunity to see some more wintry precip that looks maybe right now a bit more likely compared to our Sunday heading into your Wednesday and Thursday. But we got a ways off for that. We'll continue to monitor the models and see how overly excited or not excited they are for that opportunity as we get closer. But right now the prime focus is that, again, today we are still under a weather impact alert day just over the course of our morning hours as these showers continue to push their way into the region, just because there's a concern of potential flooding, and also you just want to make sure you're being extra careful out there on those roadways. Other than that, things are going to begin to improve in terms of our conditions heading towards the afternoon. Like I mentioned, we'll start to see a couple breaks of that rain action, and we'll start to see just lots of cloud cover left in place. Temperatures will warm up, reaching into those 60s, particularly those low to mid 60s. So better weather ahead for us in terms of things starting to dry out a little bit, just isolated stray showers heading to your afternoon into your early evening hours. And then we got cold weather to greet us looking ahead towards your work week here in East Tennessee. So again, just make sure you drive safe if you have to be out there on those soggy roadways and in those foggy conditions early this morning. Better conditions ahead for us this afternoon as our showers start to wrap on up later on in the day, and then colder weather ahead for us tomorrow and heading into the work week. So just make sure you are ready to break out those heavy coats and those heavy jackets. Have a great day.